Hey guys, so today's video we're going to do a twisted knot headband, and for this we're going to cast on 18 stitches, and then we're going to proceed by knitting the stockinette stitch. And if you don't know what the stockinette stitch, it's just the first row is knit, the second row is purled, and you keep switching those throughout. So right now I'm working on my purled stitch, and I'm doing this until the headband measures about 5 to 6 inches. It depends on the size of the head that you're making, the yarn you're using, if it's stretchy yarn, if it's not stretchy yarn. Another thing that I wanted to point out while we're doing just a stockinette stitch basically is that I'm using 2 yarns. So I just cast them on, I tie a slip knot with both of the yarns and I have the yarn pull from each, but it creates a really nice marled effect. So I think if you're trying to use up your yarn, sorry about that, it's a great way to do that. So we're going to slip 9 stitches off of our needles and onto a double pointed needle, and we're going to continue the stockinette stitch only on that side. So on half of the headband we're going to continue the stockinette stitch, and this is what we're going to use to flip to create the twist. So as you can see, I have my stitches on my working needle, and I'm going to take them off. I'm going to slip them off onto my double pointed needle, and then I'll show you what I got. So we're just going to slip them off one by one, and then this extra, the extra rows that you put on this side will help the knot not pull the rest of your work, so it's not going to make it really tight. It's going to just have it fit pretty loosely. So now that those stitches are on the double pointed needle, we can knit off the other 9 stitches. As you can see, the other half, we'll just let those dangle, making sure that they don't go anywhere. So you're going to knit the next 9 stitches. So I just count to double check that I didn't, do a little too much or a little too less. So I'm just knitting these off, and once I finish this row, what you'll see is I actually pick up the double pointed needle and I bring it in front, and this is where you get the knot. I bring it in front and then I knit those stitches off. And apparently I'm out of frame for this, so that's great, but I think you can still see that I'm just knitting them off of my double pointed needle, and that's what's creating the little twist knot. The next rows are super easy. All right, there I am. I'm back. So yes, it might be a little weird and a little tight, but just straighten it out so you have your 18 stitches again, and you can see the twist, and you can see why you had to add a few more rows to that. You're going to continue with the same pattern, so the stockinette stitch. So you're going to flip it, you're going to turn your work, and you're just going to purl each stitch as it is. You don't have to put it on a double pointed needle anymore. You don't have to take any stitches off. We're just going to continue the pattern for the same length. So if you did 5 inches first time, you're going to do 5 inches this time as well. But you'll kind of see where it is. Once you achieved the length that you want your headband to be, you can start casting off your stitches, and this is just the regular bind off that I use. I sped it up, but if you want me to do a separate video on casting off and the different types of casting off, just let me know. I'd be happy to do that. Just make sure to leave that in the comments below. The other thing that I'll show you is that once I cast off, I actually show you how I sewed it together. It's just end to end, but I thought maybe if you're a beginner, you could see what that looks like or how I do it. Everyone has their own way of doing it. I personally believe there's no right or wrong way to do it. So I just tie off my yarn. There I go. And I get to sewing. And this, I also make sure that I'm sewing it correctly, so I have the twist in the correct spot. It's not twisted, and then I fold it, and I sew the ends together. So it's pretty straightforward. I hope you guys liked this video. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. If you have any suggestions for blog posts, for patterns, or for videos, please let me know. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And I'll leave you with some sewing, which I love, by the way. Just kidding. I hate sewing.